Hello, everybody. Dina just stepped out for the scene here for a second.
Well, I have to get my
She has to get
iPad
her iPad so
so I
she can
read
look
your
at
questions.
questions and stuff.
Hey,
Hey, I think Beach Bum's with us. I think she's on the one that is with us right now. No, T.S. Jackson's with us too. Good, good. We've got 887 subscribers. We were up three from the last time we talked. So hey, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'll take anything
hey, y'all
we
like
get.
my shirt? I like my shirt.
What does it say?
It says, "The road to my heart is paved with paw prints."
Yeah. You just became a dog person in the last few years, though. You were not really a dog person until we got Maggie. You loved dogs, but you wasn't devoted to dogs like you are to Maggie, right?
Um,
Yes.
I liked Daisy. I love Daisy.
Yeah, you did love Daisy, but Maggie is by far your favorite.
Maggie is the reason I have the
That's
shirt.
right. I knew it was. Over the hill. Hey there, buddy. Hey, John. How are you?
Hey, John.
Glad to see you on here. Somebody else is below us here. Um, yeah. We today we were gonna do this outside, but there's some bugs out there, and just as I was crossing through the yard to do some stuff, I noticed a furry animal was laying in there. I thought, well, that was some of Moses is doing, and so I
Trying to get rid of those.
turn on the lights that surround that thing, the one on that on there, and I noticed it did. So I said, "Oh well, he got a little mouse." So I put a stick on him, and that's better. I mean, it does do this. We probably need
Ow!
a little bit more
Hello.
light,
Hit my
but
hand.
it moves. So I just poked him, and he went around underneath the car.
Is that too dark or is that no
So
good? It's storming in Georgia.
in northwest Georgia, I heard there's a tropical storm right off the Texas coast. It's coming in, and there's another tropical storm or pre-hurricane like in the Caribbean. But other than that, it's hurricane season. What can I say? I mean, me and Dina lived down there for 20 something years on the Gulf Coast, so it's just one of those things. Well, I hope it's not like tornado storming down there in northwest Georgia. Lightning maybe, but no tornado certain. Well, tonight rather, we're going to talk about a app in particular, a couple of apps, or fuel apps for diesel, and one of them's even thinking about trying to go to gas also. I want to show you the diesel only app that we had been using for a long time, and this was the card they gave you. Of course, my card has my name on it and all this, but it's EFS. It's logistics, and they issue uh, a web uh, a web page to go to, and it's called Open Roads is the app. And of course, these prices on here are way old. These are about 2 years old. But the way they'll do it, they'll have the price actually your discount price. So Love's I think is up around 540 now, and some of these down here, Quicks and stuff will be a little bit higher. But if you get my iPad, I can tell her exactly. But this with this one here with logistics, it's called logistics too. They the way they get their money is if I go fill up with diesel and I get, say, I'm just saying I had 100-gallon tank if we're completely empty. Well, let's just say we have 100 gallons of diesel in there, and say they discount my diesel by 10 cents a gallon, or it would be $10 a gallon, say, be 100 gallons or whatever it is. Then say I actually save. I'm just for instance, say I actually save $100 on per tank, and the tank 100 gallons might cost me $500, and it wouldn't be that much, wouldn't be 100, but say it saves me 100. Just for instance, so I can better explain it to you. They get 10% for for giving me a good deal on diesel. They give me 10% of the money I save. So if I save $100 on that tank, I pay them $10 for helping me out by being able to buy diesel cheaper. And that's all good. And we use that all across the country. And we use an app called Open Road, and it does look like this, but it does have the actual price that we would pay at various places. Now, see this 270, 296 gallon. That is definitely not now. That is whenever this app was made. But Dina, if you get me my app, get me my thing, I'll show them what.
I'm not signed in, so I can't talk to them.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. Y'all, I can't talk to you right now. I've got to get signed in.
Let me
show
you.
Signed out.
This is my iPad. I've had it forever. Okay. The Open Road app. I pull up the Open Road app, and you can see this is the actual prices of the Open Road app right now. See, it's in $5. It's like these are quicks, $5.49, $5.39. So the regular price would be quite a bit. It might be 30 cents higher, and so you save like 30 cents a gallon. If I got 10 gallons, I would save 30 cents. If I got 100 gallons, I save, what, $3 or something like that, 30 cents. And that app is good, and we used it a lot out west. However, we discovered a better app. We were fueling up at a place in Illinois.
Yes.
A place called Casey's in Illinois. It's just a little small service station with truck pumps. And we were talking, Dina was actually went in, she was talking to the lady about how much, ask them about, do they take this discount fuel card? And they said, no, not that particular one. And then we said, well, we would have probably saved 30 cents or something. And she said, I got something much better, and you don't have to pay a fee. And we were like very interested. So the way this one works is, this one is called Mud Flap. They use the same type of app. It shows you what the do it, and for instance, discounts up to 50 cents a gallon, average around 50 cents a gallon. And this is the way the app looks, and it tells the actual price for certain places, and it tells you the pump price, and then it also tells you what your price is. So you can tell them right there before you fuel up.
Is it updated real time?
Yes, it is updated real time. What I've seen, it's updated real time. And what you do, you go over. Now, this is actually these guys are actually trying to get the gas to have gas stuff too. Now, let me tell you the way this does. You use your regular credit card, and they give you a number. You go over to it, and you say, okay, I'm fueling up at this place. You punch it in. They issue you a number. And when you fuel up, you go in, pay with your credit card, and you tell them, I've got this service, Mud Flap, and here's my number and the number to use. And they put it down. And how they get their money is this. They don't charge you anything for getting gas and saving that gas. You don't pay them anything. The store actually pays them something for us coming to them and using that gas. That is amazing. The other one, see, I'm having to pay for, although it's not much, but I could say if I get 100 gallons of gas and I save, say $70, I'll pay $7-8 to use for that savings. But I won't pay anything with Mud Flap. Mud Flap pays the actual company. And
Each phone said she needs 2 phones, one for apps and one for talking and texting.
right. Well, here, see, it says here, it says big discount. The fuel cards can they get about 15 cents per gallon. Some of them even higher, though. They're not considering the fuel cards like I have. Some of them only 50. A transaction fee and also settlement fees and sometimes monthly fees. And the credit cards give you about a nickel a gallon, and they do charge annual. You get annual fees plus you charge interest on everything you charge. And but it's just great. They $60 savings, 30 cents a gallon on average, but up to 50 cents a gallon. And it does make a lot of difference if I get, normally I get 70 gallons or more. I'll run the tank. I know where it is on my fuel gauge. I'll get between 60 and 70. I don't like to go any lower than that. I have before, but just for instance, 60 gallons. If I go low average, 15 cents a gallon is what basically I get at Love. Sometimes I get a little bit more, but not very much. Sometimes 26 cents a gallon. But I have noticed on Loves and places like that they are even more than that. But now this mud flap is just now getting started in a lot of the southern states. It's more Midwest, and it's more of a quick trip. That's another one they use. Casey's. Quick Trip actually has a diesel place for trucks. And it's like a couple of lanes, and it doesn't have a whole lot of big truckers there, just a few. Only thing I don't see is death there,
Death.
death, DEF,
I
not
know.
death. And I don't see death at a lot of these quick places, but it's easy. I bought a couple of boxes of that stuff at Walmart the other day, and it is a little bit cheaper at Walmart in the box, and you just have to basically tip the box over, and it's
That's better.
a little nozzle that you put down into your thing, and you can just pour it down in there. And I think my death tank holds about 15 gallons or more. I'm not. I don't know, it might hold 20 gallons,
Okay, so
but um,
Globe Master says hello from Oklahoma City and wanted to know if we were going to be in Hershey, Pennsylvania in September for the RV meetup because they would love to meet us there.
In September.
Yeah.
Which meetup is that?
Let me see if
Which
he
one is
says,
that?
are y'all going to Hershey RV show in September? Would love to meet you there.
Is that in Pennsylvania?
Hershey, Pennsylvania, yes, dear.
I don't know because we have that. You said you wanted to help out with the fair,
Well,
and I
let's
don't
find
know
out when it is. I'll look real
when that
quick.
is. But just for instance, I'm on their app now, the Mud Flap app, and they're putting up
Oh, yeah.
new stores all the time. Um, but they're generally running in price around 5.10 a gallon, 5.15 a gallon, so and around 5.18 a gallon. So that's saving basically 18 cents a gallon on most. What I'm noticing is these cards. It doesn't matter if you're using any of those cards. Um, with diesel real high, the discounts are not as good as they have been.
Well, I'm not sure that we would make it to Hershey, Pennsylvania because that is the same time as the Lincoln County Fair in Lincoln County, Alabama. And my dad, and me and my brother, we make wine, homemade wine. And the only reason I make wine is to enter it in the fair.
And to win ribbons.
And to win ribbons. And hey, a $2 check for winning, I won the big medallion.
$5 check.
The
$7 check or something like that.
I won the big medallion the first time I entered my bubbling blueberry wine. Out of 182 bottles, I won the big ribbon. So I'm hooked on making the wine, but I'm not hooked on drinking it. We might have a glass of wine every year.
And I probably
not much.
I probably would drink a glass of wine every night before bed, but my doctor won't let me with some of the pills I'm taking. She said it wouldn't work out for me.
But Globemaster, if we could, we would love to be there and meet up with you.
So Globemaster, did you used to fly Globemasters in the Air Force? I would.
Tommy entered kiwi wine one year, and I entered jalapeno wine one year. And there was a tie between our two bottles. And I'm back there praying because I've already won blue ribbons, and it was his first. And I was back there going, God, please let him pick his. Please let him pick his.
But no,
they picked mine.
She won number one, and I won the second place, which is okay. We've actually given a lot of mine away.
He was a cruise ship in the Air Force. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
I have a brother that is retired from the Air Force.
Yeah, he's a lieutenant colonel. He was in the. I think he did design software type stuff. I know that's what he does now. He went in the private sector after he retired. But with diesel as high as in gas is high, Gas Buddy is good for getting your normal gas, finding your normal gas is cheaper. We've seen it gone. We went down in the last few days here. It was up at $4.99 a gallon. Even over that, $5 something a gallon for gas.
But we saw it the other day at $4.65 when we went with Mindy somewhere.
$4.65 a gallon for gas, and it wasn't that. It's a shame you have to say, man, that was a good price.
Hey, Chris. Active duty for 26 years, Glowmaster. I am an Army brat, and I've had military in my family since the Civil War. So we are a military
Army
family.
Though. You got some.
No,
Army, you got one.
Marines.
We have Marines.
We have Air Force. That. Yeah, not just Army. We got a Marine in the family now.
My dad was in World War II, in the Army in World War II. All his brothers were in the Army also. One was in England as a medic, and the other one was in basically his group in the Philippines. He fought in the Philippines and was in occupied Japan, that sort of thing. But
getting back to the
gas, I know that Mudflap is talking about doing that with cars also, where because it's not going to hurt them as far as the diesel goes. They're the stations that they get to participate, they're paying them to bring in more traffic, and I see where they do. I will seek out these stations to get the best deal. I can't. I talked to a friend of mine that's a truck driver that used to work with us in law enforcement, and he sent on Facebook the other day. He posted where he got $1,000 what it cost him to fill up his diesel tractor. He's out in Arizona or something now. $1,000. So he had a big tank though. He had a real big tank. But I said, man, and I asked him privately. I said, I hope you are using some cards. He said, oh yeah. He said that was a pump price, $1,000. He said I didn't pay that much, but my bill was still high. Probably over $800 at the very least. But if he can save a couple of $100 or $100 at the pumps by going, because what these truckers will do would depend on who you drive for. They'll pool all of their diesel they buy, and then they get a discount on diesel. Um, and this is what these apps are working for, especially the the one that we do pay money to use. Um, the EFS is actually this card here is actually TDS Logistics is what it is, but it's the something fuel
Well,
services.
now, did they say that
Um,
Love's is no longer taking that one?
no, it wasn't Love's. It was another one. It was Pilot that had a problem taking one of them. I think it might have been that one, Pilot. I heard, read somewhere that Pilot was no longer taking it. But I would refer to your your app. I think app wouldn't send you to a station that didn't take it. But the way that card does, you have to put at least $1,500 in a separate account. They want you, well, they asked for your actual checking account, but we didn't want to put the checking or savings at risk of somebody hacking it. So what we did was opened up a fuel account, and we try to keep $1,500 in that account when we're on the road traveling. And what that does, they will actually debit your account. In other words, pay and use that card. You I apologize for the buffing. I don't know why. We've got a super strong internet where we are with Starlink. And last night it was like 400 or 500 download and 50 or 60 upload. But I think it's because we have a congested area where we're at. So sometimes we're getting buffing. But anyway, the way they do it is you use their card as the credit card, and then you pay the difference. Like I said, you pay 10% of the amount that you save, and that's still pretty good because there may not be uh, any of these stations that use this mud flap out in the area you're at. So it kind of gives you either or type thing. Now you can save about 5-6 cents on diesel if you pay in cash too. If you
A
pay in
nickel a
cash,
gallon,
a
usually.
nickel a gallon, right? If you pay in cash, if you don't have a card and or you're waiting on your cars to come in, or you can't find somebody that uses those type of cards, and you just have to get diesel, then you can save about a nickel a gallon if you pay cash. Now, uh, that won't work, of course, using this EFS or the logistics card. And if you see this the way it's on this open road app, it and these prices I said are way back in the day. I wish it was that price right now.
Oh,
But
man.
TSD is the place you have to go over. If you look up TSD fuel cards online, you'll have to go over and see them. But like I said, they require you to keep $1,500 in an app, or I mean, in an account, so they can debit your account when you fuel up. Now, the other one does not do that. This mud flap here does not require it, and I like the way they do it here. I mean, it tells the pump price and tells you that. And of course, on this particular one, you're saving 18 cents a gallon, but you're using your credit card. So, what we like to use a credit card that allows us to get points. Now, I've heard people say, "Well, why don't you get an interest back or a rebate back?" Well, most credit cards only give 1% back or 2%. So, if you think about that realistically, 1% of $1,000 is a dollar. So you would have to spend like $20,000 to get $20 back. And to me, that just doesn't seem. I'd rather do it the other way. we had a Royal Caribbean card, and we had at one time 4 or 5 cruises that we built up. But what we were doing was we were paying everything we could with that card, and just turning around and paying it off every month. And that's what, if I would highly suggest that you, if you use a credit card, you try to pay it off every month if possible, because we learned in our marriage, we've been married long enough that we learned that you can get over your head in credit cards real easy. And we've had some large amount credit card bills that we've had to pay off in the past. And I never want to get, you know, I don't want to be a slave to the lender, as they say. I'm already a slave to the lender because we're not completely debt free, but um,
We only owe on the RV.
yeah, but still, I wish we didn't own the RV. And I'd rather us have a newer vehicle, because this vehicle is giving us problems now. But I don't mind using a credit card for this particular app, like we said, just because I feel like I'm not having to pay them 10% of savings, and I can pay it off at the end of the month, and I can earn some type of points or credit from it.
Are
I
we
know that
frozen? Y'all aren't talking to us.
I know that
I don't know. Nobody's talking.
they're talking over here.
Why am I not seeing it?
Um,
What in the world?
what the way it, my daughter
Oh,
uses
shoot.
my daughter uses
Okay.
a Hyatt credit card, some type of, I think it's Hyatt, but she has gotten tons of points where she uses it to get motel rooms. They when they have to fly for work, she gets all kinds of points where she doesn't have to,
I think it's
yeah,
Michelle.
okay. This college degree I got ain't doing me no good tonight. 1% of 1,000 is $10. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Michelle.
10% is $100. Yeah, I got
Okay,
you.
listen.
I don't know what I was thinking of.
Duval Leslie asked, "We recently purchased a fifth wheel and was wondering if y'all have any good suggestions on temporary shades. The AC units have an extremely hard time keeping the RV cool during the day."
Well, I've been reading a lot about people that have put up these tent shades on top of their roof to keep it cool. We haven't had that issue. We've got 3 air conditioners in this Tiffin, but we do keep our night shades down during the day when it's really hot.
Yeah.
And
Actually, keep them both. We've got two shades.
we got a day shade and night, and we
Yeah.
just pull them both down. And also, we have these little awnings on some of our windows. We pull those out. Now our big awning is messed up. We're having to get it repaired.
And you can tell the difference
But
when it's out.
yeah, when it's out, it does keep cooling. I'm not aware of anything that you put on top of your RV that does block. I've seen a lot of people talking about, we have a large solar array up there, so I don't know if that helps it too, because it does somewhat shade the RV. We have 2,400 watts of solar on the roof, and it does block off a good bit of sun. But right now we are mooch docking up here in Wisconsin, and we have most of the RV is not covered. So, but the days have been off and on, hot, cold, and
Okay, Globe Master has a question for you.
okay.
Y'all use Starlink only for internet? Question mark. Any backup suggestions?
Yeah, I right now we only use Starlink for internet and for streaming. We did have a MoFi. I ended up selling that, but I've heard that like a AT&T hotspot, portable hotspots are real good, or Horizon, depending on what
We have an
you
AT
prefer.
hotspot.
But my wife has the AT&T hotspot on her phone that we can use, and also like on my iPad's got a hotspot on there also. Now, the Starlink, we haven't really had a chance to be out in the clear sky yet to really see what it's going to do. But we stream, and there's so much free TV out there to watch. You don't have to pay for any of it. And I think that you can get like hundreds and hundreds of movie channels for free, and even we watch a lot of stuff on the Roku. We bought a Roku. We don't have to pay it by the month, and we watch tons of stuff on it free. But that is all we have now. Now, if it we get a if we get to a point where we're in shaded areas, national parks, we don't stay at a lot because of the size of our rig. But if we are out somewhere and we just can't get the internet, no matter what we do, the trees are in the way or whatever, because Starlink doesn't like trees, then we'll probably go back to trying to do our stuff on the cell phone using the hotspot on our cell phones until I could see us maybe someday if we got our channel got large enough where we could YouTube would be paying us money to do it. We may end up getting another hotspot just for backup. Like I know that Nomadic Fanatic is really high on this Nomad internet, and that's great, but that's $100 something a month. And I know a lot of these places, like I was watching a channel the other night, they were using just an AT&T hotspot, and that's what our cell phones with. And they got I think it was $30 a month. They could get 100 megs, 100 gigs a month, I think it was, or something. It was not huge amount, but if you're using it all for what?
Can you see this?
You see that? That's awesome. That supplemented to your air conditioner. That's a little squirrel fan.
The back of the RV seems to stay warmer. I mean, cooler than the front.
I think it's because of that tree back there.
It may be. So what I do is I stick that in the bedroom, blowing cold air this way. And we had the units, all three of them turned up to 78 degrees, and we were still freezing in here.
That squirrel fan does help a lot. It really does.
Beach Bum, bye. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah, Beach Bum. Glad you came in. There's so many hot spots you can buy out there for less money. I really like the MoFi because I took my cellular card from my phone. I wasn't using my phone much, and I put it inside the MoFi, and it did allow me to be boosted on a lot of that. But still, I'm very proud of how we do with the Starlink. It does have some buffing with it, but I've noticed between 8 around 8 to 9 o'clock is when that happens. It doesn't really happen early in the evening, and it doesn't happen.
Your air conditioners need to all be on the same degrees because they circle on and off. And you want them to do that because otherwise they'll freeze up.
And also another thing that Meddena did, and if you go back and watch, I think a couple videos back, she cleaned all of the foam insulation.
Okay. So on the driver's side is where the intake is, and on the passenger side is where it blows the cold air out. So the ones on the driver's side, just take them down, make sure they're clean, and you shouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, she cleans those. All she does is rinse the filters out with water, and they dry out pretty quick, and then put them back up there. And I would suggest also, if you haven't yet, go up on your roof when it's not crazy hot, and you can get this at the store. They make us like a thing that sprays dust off the computers and stuff. Use that to clean your vents off of your radiator. That your coolant runs through that coolant radiator. Make sure that thing is clean up there.
We've got a video of that, of
Right, our inspector
Our
did that.
inspector did that last year. Go back and check some of our old videos. Chuck, he
Yeah,
got up there and he told us all about what to do up on the thing for cleaning.
because I'm gonna tell you a little. If you don't know this, if you ever have air conditioner that needs Freon,
Yeah.
I've been told that these air conditioners you can't add Freon to them. That there's when one goes out, there's not much they can do for it except replace it. So you need to make sure that once a year, if you're not mechanically inclined, or the uh, you don't want to climb up on your roof or whatever, that you go up there, you take the hood off of them, the plastic hood off, you clean with that dust type spray stuff. You clean your vents out there. You spray inside there, just clean all the dust and make sure there's no bird nests in there and stuff. And it does good to clean it out. If you really want to make sure, you hire somebody to do it and make sure they do a service on them,
Well,
and they would do it all for you.
Chuck told us that on this unit it would be between $100 and $200 to do a yearly inspection. And he would come in and clean the refrigerator filters and everything, and the air, make sure everything was top notch. And to me, that's one of the best $100 or $200 we could spend.
Well, I don't know if we're going to be doing it this year. We may do our air conditioning thing ourselves. We're out at the beginning of summer. We'll be in your daddy's not too long from now, maybe. But it's like the other day, we went, and we're going to have a video on this in the next week or two. We went to Keep You Daydream, had a meetup, and they had we're founding members, in fact, of their E3 camping. And it's basically, when I joined, it was like $250 something for 3 years. Now they're going down to like $79, and I think it would be a great thing for anybody to do, because what it allows you to do, there's tons of online schooling, and they have events where they have people come in and teach stuff. And they went over, Blue Ox was there. They went over how to treat your black tank, keep it from doing stuff, and then also
Doug and Russell said hello. Y'all, Allison is on here.
Awesome.
We met this couple with their dogs and their kids at the meetup that KDY had. Keep Your Daydream. And it was awesome. We sat and talked to them for a very long time.
Made that trip worthwhile for us. You really did.
And your dogs will be on this program very soon.
We are having that. I'm in the process. I've got it probably going to be 2 weeks from now. I'm in the process of editing all of that stuff. But they had two of the awesomest dogs you ever saw. They were golden retrievers. Doug was my favorite.
He was huge.
He was 140
he had
pounds.
This big around.
140 pounds. Huge, beautiful dog. Just this kind-hearted soul. And then you had Russell, the younger one. He was very beautiful too. Doug was just so big.
We just fell in love with this family. In fact, we hugged when we left because they were just so precious.
I think he was a special ed teacher. Special education, which is, man, it just hats off to that.
So y'all say hello to a new member, Allison.
Yes, we really appreciate you coming. It was awesome meeting y'all, and absolutely made that trip for us. We haven't stopped talking about y'all or your dogs.
He's talking a lot about Doug.
Doug's my boy. I tell you, I really like Doug. But we will have that coming up for sure. Um, it was well that, but anyway, we talked there about doing the black tank, and I asked them, and that they misunderstood me. And I asked them a question. I had heard about some RV places. What they do is, if they have a dump at the RV place, if they will, one of their techs will actually they'll drain the tanks first, and then they will insert some type of power wash hose like you have at a power car wash, and they it just blows anything out of the tank. Here's some paper in the black. Then your gray tank was the biggest thing. Gray tank, and I don't know if y'all do any of y'all or heat. But you need to do that once a year. Also, we're getting off on a lot of red herrings here. But while I'm
You're
thinking about
chasing
it,
rabbits.
yeah, while I'm thinking about it, I take my plug out if you have a plug. If you don't, some of them don't. The stiffen, when I took it out, it didn't have a plug in it. It didn't have usually they have a like a zinc oxide pole in it that all the impurities get hung to, and you have to replace that. For whatever reason, the stiffen doesn't have that. But what I did was I pulled the plug to the water heater, drained it out, and then I put a high pressure hose in there and on a stick, and it really cleaned that heater out. But it's and I've been told it's a water heater, not a hot water heater. I think that KYD said that.
It's a water heater.
It's a water heater. But that's my Southern English, a hot water heater. But that's there's a lot of stuff that you can do yourself that saves paying that $175 an hour at a dealership.
And we have purchased some items that we've got to go pick up at our daughter's tonight for just that.
Right, exactly.
And we'll be filming it and trying to show the do's and don'ts of spraying out your tanks.
Right now, they showed something at that meeting too, where they had a thing you attach your water. Here we go, a water hose to a garden hose. I call it. Being from the South, I always call it a hose pipe. And I still to this day call it a hose pipe. I say, go get me the hose pipe. And if you're around me, you know what I'm talking about. But if I ask you, go get me the hose pipe, you wouldn't have any idea what I was talking about. It's just, I've said that ever since I was real small. I don't know where I heard it from, but that's it. That's how they used to call it in the old South, as a hose pipe. But our water hose, but a garden hose, I guess you'd say, you put this attachment to it and go down through, you open your valve in your toilet, and you put it down through there, and you wash the top of your tank out from the inside of the RV. And I was going to make my own, the man, hey, go to Lowe's, make your own. But when I got to Lowe's, I found out I couldn't make my own for the price. I could just order my own.
Because he had a wife that told him.
I went through and had all these little things I was going to do, and I was adding up in my head, and I said, how much is that one on Amazon? She told me, and I said, I think I'll do that. And I went and put all of it back. But, doing the little things like that are, I think it's helped. And I did watch a RV video today earlier, and they talked about getting a macerator pump, so that if you're mooch stocking like we are, we don't have to go to the dump every 3 or 4 weeks. You can just pump it into a clean out valve of the septic tank.
Love Master said we need to get some cooking RV videos up. I'm going to do that. In fact, Tommy sent me a recipe for a keto cheesecake.
Yes, she had a bunch of cooking videos. She actually did her own channel for a while, but I think what we'll do, we'll just hear, because everybody that she's a great cook, as you can see. I weighed 125 pounds when I got married. I can't double that. But I am trying to lose some weight. I did lose some on keto years ago, and I'd like to do it again. Before I see my doctor gets on to me. She don't hold no bar back about getting on to me. Yeah, we enjoyed our seeing KYD, and like I said, we are definitely going to have a video on that, and I'll be sure to show y'all Doug and Russell.
One of the things that they said at the RV meetup, the techs, they came out with the RV toilet paper and they said, you've got to use this. If you don't use this, you're going to end up with problems. And Tommy and I have never, not in this RV and not in the other RV, have we ever bought toilet paper for the RV toilet paper.
Or I don't, and I see a lot of people talking about this.
Wait a minute, but we buy Charmin's. He likes the ultra soft, so that's what we buy. Never had a problem.
And never have putting it in a paper sack beside the toilet. I just that grosses me out. I'm sorry, I can't do that. Question: my RV will not have a water heater. It will have aqua hot. Oh man, aren't you lucky? Do you know if it will need to be cleaned? I understand it does require cleaning. I don't know exactly because I do not have it, but I wish we had it. I understand, but I understand too that if you have to replace it, it can be very expensive. But I think you do. I'm not 100% reading it or listen. I watched tons of RV videos from KYD to Less Junk More Journey to Nomadic Fanatic to
Jason.
There's
Jason RV Dreams or something.
Yeah, the
There's
RV
so
Odd
many.
Couple. We watched tons of them. I mean, tons of them. And RV Texas y'all, I really like them
because they say y'all.
Y'all, there and say y'all too. But I watch a lot of them. Some of them I don't agree with a lot. Some of them I've actually not watched anymore because they're getting too political for me, or they're directing people to do the wrong things, and I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of any of that. But I don't know. But I understand the aqua hot system is awesome. I've really had a lot of people say it's really nice. I wish that I could put a instant hot water heater, like a water heater on demand, and I understand I might be able to do that. Um, do the like hot water on demand, but that might not be great either because running out of water. But
somebody would stay in the shower.
No, but you noticed the other day you were trying to run water in there to put down the drain for something. We have a 10-gallon water heater, but we don't.
It took a good 30 minutes to run out of hot water.
Right. I mean, me and her, I can take a shower, she can take a shower, and still have hot water. So
if the shower was bigger, we could shower together.
It's just not big enough.
Big enough.
It's not big enough.
Well, somebody get stuck in there.
Hey. Don't talk about yourself that way. Fried cabbage. Anybody got anything else we can answer or give you our 2 cents on? We're not experts.
We would like your 2 cents.
Yeah,
y'all have suggestions for us.
Since
Endless RVing had installed on their new mark.
Oh, awesome.
Great, Globemaster.
I would actually like to check into that.
Okay, sure. Fried okra. I can do fried okra and fried squash, and I'll get some.
Fried squash is great. Fried okra is great.
I'll get some.
Anything fried is good.
And if you're going to do fried green tomatoes,
fried green tomatoes,
if you'll dip them in buttermilk and dip them in cornmeal,
make them real thin.
Well, some people like them thin. So dip them in cornmeal. Fry them in bacon grease, not in anything else. Bacon grease. You will
thank her for that.
Yes. You didn't see my potato chip cookie recipe? I will put it on here for you.
Yeah.
Because that's very simple, and that's one of Tommy's favorites.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to eat a lot of sweets lately.
Well, he's trying.
Trying. It's just tough. Um, but we are sitting here moose stalking for probably 2 more weeks, and then we're going somewhere. We haven't decided yet where
We're praying.
because Buffett. What I'm hoping for, the Biden administration had been talking about suspending all taxes on fuel for 3 months. And they said that that will knock off about 25 cents a gallon to diesel, or even more. It might be a little bit more. So, you know what I mean? It might. Uh, Carl wants to know another law enforcement story, or we need to meet up again. Oh, Lord. I was telling them some stories about some of our old narcotic search warrants and stuff. Um, I'll have to think about that. Some that are funny. But if they drop it 25 cents a gallon, and then some of the states also go along with knocking off their state tax, then thing. I don't know why this thing is super buffing tonight. I really think though it's congestion in the line, because we haven't had this problem in a long, long time. I think it may just be that it's just getting more congested in this area where we're at.
All right, get ready. Okay,
Well,
Leslie, I'm posting there. There's the potato chip cookie recipe video. I finally found it.
where?
It was on my cooking channel.
Okay.
Okay, TS, it's on here now.
Yeah.
Um,
I will think about. I've got a lot of law enforcement stories. Some of them are funny, some of them are not so funny. Some of them are crazy things that have happened. See, right as I talk about UFOs, it starts buffing. That's the thing there. Um, Crazy. Uh, yeah, I mean, Dana does need to make more cooking videos for sure. What was your cooking channel, Dana?
Medina's Kitchen.
Yeah, but why don't you
Something.
go and get the actual website thing and put it on there?
I got a whole 55 subscribers. Woo!
No, just do the thing when you need to find your
I
how to
did.
get to yours.
This is it.
Okay.
So this should be.
Um,
Hey, 55 is more
I
than.
don't think that's gonna get you where you're going, but maybe.
Let's see if it does.
Okay.
All right.
That is her old channel she had that had a lot of cooking stuff on it. I think it needs to be cooking in the RV.
We did enjoy our
That's
time
all
with you,
right,
too.
Allison. We enjoyed y'all so much, and I will. Next time you're on, I'm gonna get me a list of things that I can talk about. I've got some stories that are not so funny, and some stories that are very funny.
You can tell them about your training guy, the training officer in Huntsville, coming up on that dead body in the gutter.
It wasn't a dead body in the gutter; it was a mannequin.
I know.
Yeah,
He like had a heart attack.
somebody played a joke on him. They did have a lieutenant that was really wanting to get you sleeping, really wanting to get you doing stuff. And one boy, they had a rumor that somebody always had a girl in the car with him, driving around with his girlfriend in the car. And the lieutenant sat out there. They knew the lieutenant sat at a certain spot at night. So they actually went and got a mannequin. Where they got it, I don't know. This was uh, crazy. And the guy put his arm around the mannequin. You know how you do, like in the car, with his arm around the mannequin, and drove right by that lieutenant. And of course, the lieutenant had to start his car and all this. By that time, he had a getaway point, and he got away. And everybody just, he was trying to find out who was that in that car. What car number was that? They had all the numbers taped up and everything, so you couldn't see the car. And this was in one of the large departments that I worked at, so they might have been 60 cars in the street at one time. But it was so funny. I'll tell you another thing that happened though. They had a rookie. One of the training officers had a rookie that was sleeping all the time in the car. He'd go around. This rookie'd be sleeping. He didn't want to get him in trouble. He didn't want to put him on the spot and cause him to lose his job. He just wanted to cure him of this problem of sleeping. So I knew the old boy too. He was a young boy, and he's 20, 21, 22, 23, something like that. And he would go to sleep, and they try to wake him up. They wake him up, and he kept going to sleep, going to sleep. So the guy says, I'm gonna solve this sleeping problem. It's gonna be solved tonight. And I said, well, what are you gonna do? And he told me. We're buffing. All right, we were buffing. This town had 4 sectors, and each sector had about 15 cars in it. And then we had 2 different frequencies. So it was a big area, big town. We'd have 5 K9s working and SWAT team working and everything. It was maybe 60 detectives. But anyway, this officer always used to patrol these warehouses, and they would just this area there was just nothing but warehouses, like maybe 100 acres of nothing but warehouses. No names. They would be numbers on the side of the warehouses, but you really had to know where they were. So this officer, this rookie officer, was asleep, and the veteran training officer went out there and parked right in the middle of these warehouses where nobody was around. You couldn't know if you woke up, you wouldn't know where you were. He reaches down and he turns the blue light on, and they're flashing. The guy didn't wake up. Flips on the siren in a hurry and said, I'll chase him, you call it in. Jumps out of the car and tears around the side of the warehouse. This guy wakes up. He has no clue where he's at. No clue. I mean, he's told to call him in. He picks up the radio, the mic. What's he going to do? We're out chasing a guy. No idea where he's in. But that broke him from sleeping on duty, because the guy finally went around the building and said, what if that would have been the real thing? What if I would have been chasing the guy, or you would have heard gunshots? What was you done? So, it just goes to show you that you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention, where you're at. Don't sleep on the job.
What about the owl?
Well, they had a lieutenant too that was really, really, really would just bust your behind if you did the slightest little thing. And I don't know, and I'll never tell the guys that did it. I did not do it, but they had caught this little owl about this big. And an owl is a feisty animal if you get it caged. And they put it in this guy's glove box. And when of course, all the lieutenants, they drove their cars home at night. And when he started it up after he'd been in for the next shift change or whatever, and he got about 200 yards down the road, and all the doors flew open to the car. The car slid to a stop. He jumped out, and that owl, I know he was making noise in the glove box, and he probably reached over there and opened the glove box. And you imagine this owl flying around in your car, not knowing what it was. You put a bat in there with me, I'm letting the car out. I do not. I hate bats with passion, and the bat's in there with me. The bat gets the car.
What about, okay, one more, Skippy.
Well, Skippy, I do have a very good friend, and John, if he's on here over the hill, he knows Skippy. But we had a call one night from the state park. It's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Said, somebody bring me a riot gun over here. I've got the biggest snake I've ever seen in the world.
They thought it was a log across the street.
Yeah, he rode up on it. It was one of these big boa constrictors that they're catching them in Florida. They're huge. So Skippy was not afraid of anything. He's still not afraid of anything. Typical outdoorsman. I expected to see him on a lawn or maybe one of these shows like that up in Alaska. But he went and got this snake and put it in the back seat of his car.
It was Skip, right? Not
Skip.
Skippy.
It was Skip. Put it in the back seat of his car. And I mean, this snake's like 15 feet long. Big old snake, but that big around. And so he got down to where we were going to be, and he rode right by the zoo. He was taking the zoo, rode right by the zoo. And I said, where are you going, Skip? He said, this thing, he talked like this thing's wrapped around my legs. So he finally coasted to a stop, and it was like, honestly, he was pulling spaghetti out of the back seat of his car. He would pull it out a little bit more, pull it out a little bit more. I mean, it was unbelievable. But we used to get alligators. We used to do all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I'll have some more funnier ones we had. We just had some search warrant ones that I told him about at the KYD.
If you get him on a roll,
yeah,
he's got some stories.
Yeah,
he's going to write a book one day.
I will say one thing that to show you how police are like. They're like a brotherhood. Females, males, it doesn't matter in the thing. I had you didn't bleed black, you didn't bleed red, you bled blue. Well, I went to a party, after work party. It was in the wintertime. Drove my motorcycle up there. I had been on the force about 3, 4 months, 5 months.
Oh, there you go.
So that's the end
Had
of
to
the
wind
story.
it up. No, it ain't. Stop.
So I came in and they said, the rookie's here, the new rookie's here. And they said, time for initiation. Now, this is wintertime, folks. I mean, this is not summer. This is like, it's in the like 79, something like that. They picked me up. I'm still in my uniform now from my shift. They dropped my belt off and my gun and everything on the floor. They said, got a wallet? I threw my wallet out. They took my notebook out of my thing. They basically searched me, holding me off the ground. They took me outside.
125 pounds.
They took me outside and they threw me in the pool in the middle of the winter time. They threw me in the pool as an initiation. And
at least they didn't strip you down.
Yeah, and then so I had to dry off the best I could to ride my motorcycle back home, which I I lived about 10 miles away, probably about 10 to 12 miles away. I froze to death. Wonder I didn't get hypothermia, but yeah, I appreciated that. But I wasn't a rookie no more after that night. I was not the rookie.
Oh, hey, all right, real quick. I know we got to go. Real quick, let me tell you. Do you know how he was the new man at Gulf Shores PD any longer?
PD, but go ahead.
Well, anyway, he had been at the PD for 2 months, and he still wasn't broke in. People didn't know you know, what he was up to or anything.
Plus, I
Well,
started that PD. I started when I was 34.
yeah. And
I
so
wasn't
anyway,
young.
I called the police department on April Fool's Day, and I asked for the chief of police. I didn't know it at the time, but it was Donna, I think, said, um, who's calling, please? And I told her it was Tommy Green's wife, and I needed to talk to the chief. So she put me through to the chief, and I said, you haven't met me yet, but I'm Tommy's wife. He and I have been married over 15 years, and it's getting really hard to get him on April Fool's Day. So can you do me a favor and get him for April Fool's Day? He said, what have you got in mind? I said, well, I don't know. Call him in and fire him or something.
Yeah,
you know.
thanks, my wife here.
Call him in and fire him or something. And he said, well, I'll see what I can do. So he comes in at lunchtime, doesn't say a word, everything's fine. And so he leaves, and I'm thinking, oh man, they ain't going to get him. I'm going to have to think of something to get him. I get him every year, even still to this year, 48 years later. And so anyway, he comes in after work. He goes into the bedroom, and he's got the Velcro, taking it off. And he says, honey, come here a minute. And I go in there, and he said, give me a hug. And I went to hug him, and he threw me on the bed, sat on me, and was going, I'm going to kill you.
I wasn't choking her, but I could have.
Yeah, he said that
They called me in. They said, you know, we've had some complaints and
citizens' complaints, and you had 2 wrecks that weren't your fault.
Well, no, I had a wreck. I was going to call, and I went. A guy, officer was calling for help, and I passed the car, and instead of yielding to blue lights and everything, he turned in to my side. But anyway, I didn't know he was hurt. But anyway, they said,
no, it's okay. It's just you.
And they thought I was going to flip out and pass out.
Hush.
So they said, April Fool's compliments of your wife. But if I'd have had any forethought, if I'd have thought, now, you know,
it could have been a double April Fool's.
Yeah, I could have fell out and acted like I sure enough, you know, did that. But yeah, and then last April Fool, and I don't think this is right. You tell me if this is right or not. 1 minute into April Fool's. 1 minute.
It was April Fool's.
12:01. 12:01.
This year.
Yeah, this year. We're going to bed late. She's in the RV bed in there, and she says, oh my God, Tommy, Gracie has thrown up on your pillow. Bring me some towels or anything. And I said, you're kidding me, on my pillow? And she said, oh yeah, it's all over the bed and all over your pillow. So I ran in there with a bunch of paper towels wadded up, and I was gagging. I just threw them at her. I said, there, get it up. I said, I'm not going there right now. And then she said, April Fool's. That ain't even right,
it
guys.
was 1 minute.
That 1 minute after, that's not even right.
Y'all, it's so much. I was born April 2nd. I should have been born April Fool's Day. I love April Fool's Day. The first year that we were together married on April Fool's Day, I had gotten these glow-in-the-dark eyeballs that are like this big around, that just really bloody looking and everything. And we go to bed, and he turns the light off, and he's turned over. So I pop the eyes on, and I'm laying there, and I said, are you going to kiss me goodnight? And he rolls over, and he sees them. He screams to the top of his lungs. He jumps up and tears the sheets off the bed. Y'all, I'm telling you, I've had the best time in my life. I planted a rubber scorpion by the toilet. He fell into the bathtub.
She's really mean.
He's so easy to get, y'all.
Really mean at
times. And he knows it's coming. Our first year at our store, I pretended like we had been robbed that night, and he fell for it.
Nowadays, I try not to. And this next year, I don't care what it is.
The funny thing is,
12 midnight on, I'm not going to do it.
Maggie, my friends won't answer
Maggie.
It may be
Go
Joe.
see Jeff. All right. Well, y'all been fun tonight for sure. Y'all been fun tonight. Our friend is letting us stay here. He's going to DC to see his son. He's in the Marines. So What's going on?
The cat had a rat and it ran up Joe's pants leg.
No. Our cat had a rat in his mouth and it ran up our friend's pants leg. Oh no, that is bad.
That happened to a police friend of Tom's.
That's bad. All right, guys, girls, and Doug and Russell. We hope to have that video out soon. We really thoroughly enjoyed
Hey,
y'all.
bye, y'all. I gotta take
And
Joe some brownies.
and Medina's bringing Joe some brownies for his trip. So we hope to see. Well, I don't know. Sometimes you can't help but be there. We hope to see y'all next time. But remember, we have a video coming out Sunday for our regular Sunday video. And we hope that y'all will, if you're not subscribed to the channel, we hope that you will think about subscribing, pushing the little bell, and we sure do appreciate it. God bless all of y'all. And yeah, I know. I'm going to have to check out Joe with this mouse. God bless all of y'all. We love y'all and hope to talk to you soon. So y'all take care. Stay well. And we will see you next time. Good night, y'all.